us today. It's a great pleasure to have everyone here in Willingboro as we continue to kick off these next really important 23 days. We're about rising up the middle class, helping our middle class neighbors and families, helping women. We've heard him say on TV that he does not believe in legislating equal pay for women because he thinks it would cause more litigation. Well, listen, Tom MacArthur, I get it. You gave a woman a raise when you were CEO in the insurance industry, but I believe that women, when they're making 70 cents on the dollar of their male counterpart, need a voice. And that's what I'm going to be in Congress. I'm going to be a voice for those women. We also need a voice for our seniors. We've heard him talk about how he thinks down the line we should change Social Security and we should change Medicare. These are promises that have been made, earned benefits that our seniors deserve and earn. We've heard about veterans in this race. You know, my father lost his battle to stomach cancer after being exposed to Agent Orange in Vietnam. We need a voice for the seniors and for our veterans population. Our amazing special guest, who has already been such a powerful voice for us in Washington, D.C. We need to make sure he stays there and he remains a voice for us in Washington. So we need to get out there and make sure that we're working hard for him as well. And with that, I will turn it over to Senator Booker.
Very, very much. All right. So, look, first of all, I'm up and down the state, and I hear from so many people, but there's something about Aimee's supporters. They're always on like Twitter and Facebook bombarding me, for crying out loud. I already know how great she is. You don't have to tweet that to me every single day. Please understand, the entire country is focused on this congressional district. It's considered one of the hottest of the swing districts. And that's why you're seeing ugly money, not coming from New Jersey, but money coming from all around the country, trying not to argue the issues, trying not to discuss the concerns of New Jerseyans. All that money is trying to do is to slander and undermine and degrade and demean one of our great public servants who we know already through her proven career of service to this community. We know what her character is. Look, I was standing in the Senate having a conversation with Lily Ledbetter when she told me about what it meant when she discovered that she was doing the exact same job, even better, but making so much less money. And over the lifetime of her career, decades at this job, that was the difference between her retiring with security or insecurity, her ability to help her children or grandchildren or not. Now, some people might say they don't want lawsuits, but those are the kind of people we want to be able to sue a corporation and say, hey, wait a minute, I have the same dignity, the same worth as those people doing the same jobs, therefore I should get the same pay. That we're here today because of Pell Grants and because of the GI Bill, because we empowered a generation to have the same opportunity. We're here today because years ago in America, back in the 60s, you actually could work minimum wage and not be below the poverty line. But now everything is going up and you have people working full-time jobs and jobs and a half and still are living below the poverty line. That's unacceptable. I am so excited, literally so excited about this election because when we win this election, it is going to send a message, not just to Washington, but really to the nation about what we in New Jersey stand for, what we're about. And it's going to foreshadow what I believe is going to be coming in this state again and again and again, which is that we're not going to veer far into the right trench of our country, that we believe in the value and the worth of every single one of our citizenry. We believe we should have a rational immigration policy because, heck, you look around this room, so many of us came here as immigrants.
That's right.
We believe that we should not be disinvesting in the critical things that make our country great, but we should be investing because we can't cut our way out of a bad economy. We've got to invest in those things. We believe parents who struggle with all those challenges of making ends meet, making sure they have insurance coverage for their kids, not getting rid of Obamacare. We can improve it, but dear God, who wants to go back to the days where insurance companies would decide if your child has health insurance or not? Who wants to go back to the days that a pre-existing condition would make you ineligible for insurance? Let me tell you right now, my mom and dad raised me right. I love and respect all people, even if I disagree with them.
Yes.
And so I want you to know I'm working very hard to love the man I'm running against. But I'm telling you, but he says some things. He says some things sometimes that I just like. What planet are you from? Or more importantly, what decade? What decade? What decade are you from? Look, I think Roe v. Wade is the law of the land.
Yes.
And we don't need to go back to where he wants to go back to.
Yeah.
To saying that instead of a woman's healthcare decisions being between her and her doctor, they're between her and who her politician happens to be. He wants to bring us back to a time where a woman can't make her health decisions even if she's a victim of rape and incest.
Right.
He wants to constrict access to birth. Are we still fighting this battle for access to birth control? He said, this is the truth, he said just the other day, and he hasn't backed away from the comments at all, he's proud of it, but he thinks that single women in New Jersey, single women who are raising kids too, are dependent upon government. That they're lazy and just looking for a check. That's why they vote for the Democratic Party. And so this kind of backwards thinking has no place in our state. And I'll tell you, I'm running against a guy that actually hasn't lived in our state for the last 30 years. He's got 23 days left, and I know the old African saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
That's right.
It's because of our unity, our work, our sacrifice that I know we're going to send a young lady very far, all the way down to Washington, D.C. She's going to represent us. And so on that day, she won't be the winner in November. We all are going to be the winners in November. Thank you very much.